Welcome back to the English Daily Podcast. I'm Anna, and today we're going to explore a topic that is close to home, even if you live in a busy city: the hidden life of urban nature. When people imagine nature, they often picture mountains, forests, or quiet beaches. But nature is also living in the cracks of sidewalks, on apartment balconies, beside train stations, and in small city parks. We'll talk about why urban nature matters, how to notice it, and what simple actions can help it grow. Jake, when you hear the phrase urban nature, what do you imagine?
I imagine much more than a few trees in a park. I think of birds nesting on buildings, insects visiting flowers on balconies, and even tiny plants pushing through the pavement. The word urban means related to a city, so urban nature means the plants, animals, water, and natural spaces found in a city. It may be easy to miss because we are usually focused on traffic, phones, and schedules. But if we slow down, we discover that a city is not separate from nature. It is an environment where people and many other species live together.
That's an important point. The word environment means the surroundings in which people, animals, or plants live. A city is an environment, too. Let's start with trees. A single street tree can provide shade on a hot day, absorb some air pollution, and give birds a place to rest. Trees also release water vapor, which can help cool the air. In a neighborhood with many trees, people may feel more comfortable walking outside. Have you ever noticed that one street feels cooler and calmer than another simply because it has more trees?
Absolutely. Trees can also reduce what experts call the urban heat island effect. That sounds complicated, but the idea is simple: buildings, roads, and concrete absorb heat from the sun and release it slowly, so cities can become hotter than nearby rural areas. Trees and plants help by providing shade and cooling the air. Here's a useful language tip. When we say a plant provides shade, provides means give something useful. We can also say, this park provides a quiet place to study. Try using provide when you describe a benefit.
Another part of urban nature is surprisingly small: insects. Many people see insects as a nuisance, which means something annoying or inconvenient. But insects such as bees, butterflies, and beetles perform essential jobs. They pollinate flowers, break down dead material, and provide food for birds. To pollinate means to move pollen from one flower to another, allowing plants to produce seeds. Without pollinators, many fruits and vegetables would be much harder to grow. So the next time you see a bee, you might think of it as a tiny worker in the city ecosystem.
An ecosystem is a useful word for English learners. An ecosystem is a community of living things and the physical place where they interact. A pond, a forest, and even a city garden can be ecosystems. The verb interact means to affect one another or communicate with one another. For example, plants interact with insects, soil, sunlight, and rain. A city garden may look simple, but it can contain soil organisms, flowers, worms, birds, and people. All of them are connected in ways we do not always notice.
Let's talk about birds. Cities can be difficult places for wildlife, but they can also offer food, warmth, and safe nesting spaces. Some birds have adapted very well to urban life. Adapt means to change your behavior or body so you can live in a new situation. Pigeons, sparrows, and crows are familiar examples, but if you look carefully, you may find many others. A practical listening and vocabulary activity is to keep a small nature journal. Write down what you see, where you see it, and one sentence about its behavior.
That's a great activity, and it does not require special equipment. You can write, I noticed 3 sparrows searching for crumbs near the bench. Notice means become aware of something, often by paying careful attention. You can also use observe, which sounds a little more formal. I observed a bird carrying grass to a nest. A journal helps you build vocabulary because you repeat useful words in real situations. It also changes the way you experience familiar places. A boring walk can become a small investigation.
Water is another hidden part of city nature. Rain gardens, streams, ponds, and wetlands can help manage heavy rain. A wetland is land that is covered with water, either permanently or during certain seasons. These places absorb water and reduce flooding. They also create habitats. A habitat is the natural home of a plant or animal. Even a small pond can be a habitat for frogs, insects, and water plants. When we protect habitats, we are not only protecting individual animals. We are protecting the conditions they need to survive.
That word survive is useful because it means continue to live, but thrive is even more interesting. To thrive means to grow strongly and successfully. A plant may survive in a dark corner, but it will thrive in good soil with enough sunlight. We can use thrive for people, too. Students thrive when they feel supported. This gives us a useful comparison. Urban nature should not merely survive between buildings, it should thrive. That means cities need green spaces that are connected, healthy, and welcoming to different kinds of life.
So what can ordinary people do? First, we can plant native flowers if we have a balcony, garden, or window box. Native plants naturally belong to a particular region, so local insects and birds are often familiar with them. Second, we can avoid using unnecessary chemical pesticides. Pesticides are substances used to kill insects or other unwanted organisms, but they can harm helpful species as well. Third, we can leave some fallen leaves in a garden. Leaves may look untidy, but they provide shelter and food for small creatures.
I like that advice because it shows that helping nature does not always mean making a big project. Sometimes it means changing a habit. We can also choose to walk through a park instead of taking a short car ride, pick up litter, or support community gardens. Community means a group of people who share a place or interest. A community garden is cared for by local residents. These gardens produce food, create social connections, and give people a chance to learn from one another. They are good for both nature and people.
And there is a mental health benefit, too. Research in many countries has connected time in green spaces with lower stress and better mood. We should be careful not to say that a park solves every problem, but a short visit can help us pause. My practical tip is to take a 10-minute noticing walk. Put your phone away, or keep it in your pocket, and pay attention to 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, and 1 thing that surprises you. This is a simple way to practice English and mindfulness.
Mindfulness means paying attention to the present moment without judging it too quickly. On a noticing walk, you can describe colors, movement, sounds, and textures. You might say, the leaves are shimmering in the sunlight, or, a thin layer of moss is covering the old wall. Shimmer means shine with a soft, changing light, and moss is a small green plant that grows in damp places. These precise words make your descriptions more vivid. You do not need advanced grammar. Clear observation and strong vocabulary are enough.
There is also an important social question. Who has access to nature in a city? Some neighborhoods have large parks and tree-lined streets, while others have very little shade or green space. Access means the ability or opportunity to use something. When we discuss urban nature, we should think about fairness. Every child should have a safe place to play, and every resident should have the chance to enjoy clean air and trees. Improving green spaces can make a neighborhood healthier, but local people should be included in the decisions.
Exactly. To be included means to be invited to participate rather than being left out. A city project is stronger when residents, schools, scientists, and local businesses work together. People who live in an area often know its problems very well. They may know where flooding happens, where children play, or where birds already gather. This is another useful expression, local knowledge. Local knowledge is information that comes from people with direct experience of a place. Good environmental planning combines scientific research with local knowledge.
Before we finish, let's review today's vocabulary and ideas. Urban means connected with a city. An ecosystem is a community of living things interacting with their surroundings. A habitat is the home of a plant or animal. To adapt means to change in order to live in a new situation, and to thrive means to grow successfully. We also learned provide, pollinate, observe, access, and include. Try making your own sentences with 3 of these words today. Then look outside and ask yourself, what kind of urban nature is living near me?
Our key message is that nature is not far away. It can be on a balcony, beside a sidewalk, in a community garden, or above us on a rooftop. Notice it, learn its vocabulary, and take one small action to support it. You could plant a native flower, protect a little patch of soil, reduce litter, or simply spend 10 quiet minutes outside. Thank you for learning with us on the English Daily Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, share it with another English learner, and join us next time for another useful conversation. See you soon.